Okay, so go ahead and hopefully you've got Word open by now. So let's save this one. This is a 2.6 class demo. You know the routine of where to save it and how to save it and all that stuff. Okay, good with that? Okay, let's change our margins right off the bat. We're going to change our margins to a 1/2 inch all the way around. Does anybody remember where margins are at? Layout, nice. So go to the Layout tab, and then you have the margins. And we don't have to go to custom margins because there's one called narrow, and that's a 1/2 inch all the way around. So just Layout margins, narrow, that's going to put everything at a 1/2 inch. Okay, today we're going to talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we're going to do a word art right at the top, and it's going to be called Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now I've had some students get fancy text mixed up with, that's not the correct term for it, with word art. So like if I go to the Home tab, there's this stuff here for the text. All that is that's just some text styles. It doesn't really give you many options to do anything with it, so don't go that direction. If it says word art, make sure you're going into word art. So word art is under the Insert tab, and then all the way to the right, there's that tilted A. That's the word art we want, because the word art, when it gives it to you, that gives you more options. It gives you like a graphic, so you can wrap text, you can move it, you can do more with it. Go ahead and pick one of those, whatever one you would like. And then we're going to do Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we're not going to change much on that. We'll do some more changes on other things later. But with that selected, remember, it gives you the Format tab, so you could change the fill, the outline. You could play with the quick styles on the text itself. If you wanted to change the font and the color, you would actually go over to the Home tab and change your font and stuff there, but we're not going to mess with that today. We are, however, let's stretch that out. So I'm just going to take that handle to the right. I'm going to stretch that to the right until it snaps. You'll kind of see it snap to that right margin. And what that does is that's going to put it exactly in the center of your page, rather than have that offset a little bit. And if it's not centered up, it should by default center up in here. If it's not centered up, then you can go over to the Home and just use your paragraph center to center that up. Okay? Piece of cake so far, right? You guys good with that? Okay, let's go down and just do a double click down underneath somewhere to get your cursor down there. Now we're going to copy some text over. So we're going to go over to Canvas, so open up Canvas to 2.6. And what I'm looking for on 2.6 High School Newsletter, if you scroll down, there's 2 start files. One's called Class Demo Start File. That's what we're looking for. So open up Class Demo Start File. Looks like this, and we're just going to copy and paste this text over. So just highlight all of it. And then Control-C, and then go back to your document, and Control-V. We're going to paste that in there. Okay, good enough? Now, what we're making today is a newsletter, so we're going to put in columns, we're going to put in a table, we're going to put in some graphics, we're going to just make it look super nice. So the first thing we want to do is put this into columns, okay? So we're going to highlight all that text that we just put in. Let's go ahead and highlight it all. Just click and drag and select it all. Now, columns are also under your Layout tab. So we're going to go to the Layout tab. So we've got like margins, orientation, size, and there's one called columns. Hit that arrow down. And you're going to see there's some options to do some columns. We're not going to do those right there because we're going to go all the way to more columns. Under more columns, there's more options to do that you're going to need for your assignment today too. The other ones are just like if you want just a quick 2 columns, you hit that and it's good to go. So we're going to click on more columns. We are going to do 2 columns. So select the 2 columns. What we're looking for is this line between. See that line between? Put a check mark in that. That's going to put a line in between your columns, just like it says. They're automatically column width, but if you wanted like your right column to be bigger than your left column, you could mess with that there. We're going to keep them the same width. It's going to apply to the text, which is what we want. Just hit OK on that, and that should put that into 2 columns. Cool, right? Okay, whenever you do this, it tries to split your column like evenly in half, and it did a good job of that. But we really want all of this MCU phase 1 and that information, we want all of that to be up on this column here. So we're going to put a break in there. Remember how we did a page break before to get us a new page? We're going to do a break here that pushes it all up onto that next column. It's called a column break. And you're going to do this like 3 times today on your assignment. So put your cursor in front of MCU. You're going to put it in front of whatever you want to push to the next column. Where are our breaks located? Layout. You guys are getting this. So go to layout. So it's next to our columns. You'll see there's breaks. So we're just going to get breaks down. And guess what kind of break we're going to use? Column. Yep, click on column. And boom, that pushes that up to that top right. Okay, so we're just starting that formatting part of it. Okay, so we got the basic layout down. Now we're going to spice it up and add some things to it to make it look pretty. Let's start with this first paragraph. Let's put some highlighting on this first paragraph. So let's select that whole first paragraph, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, I'm just going to triple click on that. Come on. To select all of it. This time we're going to go to our Home tab, and under Paragraph, you'll see there's a paint bucket. We're going to paint this. So hit your arrow down, and we're just going to paint that paragraph. Go ahead and pick a color that you like. Now this gives you a different look. Some of you, when we did like the flyer and it said, highlight this, your title, some of you actually used the highlighter, which is great because we haven't learned this yet. The highlighter actually just does the line. It actually just does the text. So it would give you a whole bunch of lines here if you highlighted that. If you use the paint bucket, it gives you the whole paragraph. So like if you'd done the paint bucket on your title, it'd give you more of a border than would the highlighter, and gives you more options and stuff too. Okay, did you get that selected okay? Make sure your text is still selected. We're going to put a border around this. So right next to your paint bucket, under paragraph, there's the borders. So hit your arrow down on the borders. And as you mouse over it, you'll see it's going to give you a bunch of different borders. But we're going to go all the way down to borders and shading. So next to the paint bucket and borders and shading at the bottom. Now this should look familiar. We played with this a little bit before in our, I think it was tables that we played with it on. So I'm just going to let's put a shadow on that, and then play with these lines. You can do whatever you want with the lines. Pick a style. I'm going to keep mine just a single line. You can do a double line if you want to. Maybe I'll try a double line. I'm going to change the color, change the width so you can see it a little bit. It's applying to the paragraph because we have that selected.
How do I get there again?
So it's right next to your paint bucket. It's the borders and shading, and then all the way to the bottom. And then hit OK. And that's going to give you your paragraph. Okay, did you get that to work? Oops. Okay, we good with that? Okay, let's go down to at the very bottom of this first column where it says and Ant-Man at 2015. Let's just put your cursor underneath that one. We're going to put in some symbols. We're going to separate our paragraphs. We're actually going to put a symbol here to separate it, and then we're going to put in a text box down underneath that. So it's just it kind of looks like our bullets and numbering system, but it's just considered a symbol. So we're going to go to Insert, and then we're going to go over to Symbols. So Insert Symbols, all the way to the right. And then let's just do symbol again. We don't want an equation. That's all your math stuff. We want to do symbols again. And then down to more symbols. These will be some of them that you've used in the past, just some other random ones. So click more symbols. And then this should look familiar. So insert symbol, more symbols. And remember the webdings, wingdings, and stuff we did? So go ahead and pick a symbol that you like. And you can change the font to webdings or wingdings or whatever. Okay, I'm going to use the shield that I found. Once you find one you like, just click on it and hit insert. Now this gets interesting because it doesn't do anything. Like it looks like it didn't do anything on here, but it did put the symbol out on my screen. So this would be used like if you're doing like a foreign language and you have the little character things above it, you could find those characters amongst here. You could go find a font and it'd have the little, what do they call those? Like in Spanish, the ñ thing and the little, you know what I'm talking about? That's what you could use the symbols for. You could just do it like if you want a little smiley face in there as you're typing or whatever, you could do any kind of symbol. So it doesn't really do anything in here, but if I hit insert again, it just keeps inserting, so you could do as many as you want. So like if I wanted 3 in there, then I'm going to close that out. And then you can treat these just like a font too. So I'm going to highlight those. And then if I go to my Home tab, I can mess with my fonts. So like if I want to increase my font, I can increase my font size. I can center those up. I can change the color of the font. Okay, and it's going to look just like the normal. I mean, you can treat it just like it is a character font. Okay. Now we're going to put a text box under here. We want to put a box that's going to kind of highlight some text like you'd see in a newsletter or something. And we're going to put our top 5 Marvel movies in that. Now to insert a text box, we're inserting again. We're going to do a ton on that insert. We're getting used to all of these. But under insert all the way to the right again, kind of by the word art, there's one called text box. And that's all it is. It's just a box that creates a graphic that you can put text in. So I'm going to hit the arrow down on text box. And instead of, we could do a simple text box if we want to, and it'll have you do that on the assignment, and it'll just automatically put a text box in for you. We're going to do it a little bit different way. We're going to do draw text box. Okay, so just draw a text box. And then that should give you the crosshairs. Now just go down and just draw, I'm just going to draw a box that's about yay big. And we'll adjust the box size and stuff in a minute.
How do you draw a text box?
Insert, text box, and then what is it? Insert, what's at the bottom of that? Insert, text box, draw text box. Yep. Now go ahead and type in that. Let's do top 5 Marvel movies. Then let's list them off. What do you think's the top one? I really don't know.
Hulk.
Hulk? Hulk is a Marvel.
It is?
Yeah. We can put Hulk in there. I don't know if it's top 5. What else do you think? What are some of the better ones? What's that? Thor. Okay, we'll do Thor. Which Avengers one's the best?
Captain America.
What? No, Thor's Ragnarok. What Avengers one's the best though? Which one? Endgame? Maybe? So we can do like Avengers Endgame. We could do Thor Ragnarok. Is that just R-O-K or R-O-C-K? I don't know. Give me another one. Captain America. And one last one. You can name whatever 5 you want. How about Black Widow? Okay, let's format this a little bit. Let's just make those into numbers. So instead of bullets, let's put numbers on those. So highlight those 5 movies. Don't do your title. Go up to your home, and instead of bullets, go to the next one over and do numbers. So it's going to give us our top 5. And then let's make that pretty. Let's do, so you got your box highlighted. So now go to your drawing tools and go to your format. And let's play with the shape, fill, the outline, the effects, or you could even do a style in there too. But just make it, do something to it to make it look cool. So I'm just going to do the shape, fill. I'm going to pick a color. I'm going to do my outline. You could do an effect if you want to do an effect, like if you want to do a shadow or something on it. And then you can size that up a little bit too to fit your text a little bit. Did you all right with that? Did you get the text box in there? Nice. Thanks. Okay, let's put a couple of pictures in. We're going to put a picture inside our paragraph, and then we're going to put one down inside of our text box. So let's go up in front of Captain America on that second column, second paragraph down. Just put your cursor in front of Captain America, and then let's insert an online picture. Then we'll go find, I'm going to look for Captain America. You can look forever. If this ever, see where it says, please wait while we load pictures. If that ever gets stuck, mine does it all the time. If you close that out and then do it again, for some reason, the second time it pops right up. I don't know why. So from there, I'm going to do Captain America, and then just pick a picture. Now when it comes in, it's going to kind of mess with your text and stuff. Don't let that freak you out. Play with the picture and fix that before you mess with your text. So I'm going to size this down. Now if you hold your shift key while you're sizing, like if I grab a handle and if I hold my shift key down, that will keep the ratio. It doesn't make it so it goes all like skinny or fat, depending on however you do it. And you can get rid of this photo, all the copyright stuff. I'm just going to click on the border and delete that. Okay. Then I'm going to wrap it. Make sure you wrap it. Right now it's in line with text, so it's like treating it like a character. So I'm going to click on the wrap or the layout options and wrap it so it goes around the paragraph. You could do tight. If you do tight, see how it kind of tries to go around. Actually did a good job. It goes around. Here, that's considered the tight. Depends on the picture you pick too, if it has a background like this or if it has like an actual like square around it or whatever. Okay. Now let's put another picture. Let's put a picture inside of here. Now this is weird. You can't actually click. You can put a picture in here, but it does it in line with text, and you can't change it, so it gets stuck in there. So you really need to do the picture on the outside of it, fix it, and then drag it in over the top of that. So it doesn't really matter where your cursor is. I'm going to put it in front of phase 4 on that last paragraph. And then let's insert another picture. So I'm going to insert online picture. And today you're going to do actually pictures. Instead of online pictures, you're going to select pictures. There's going to be a graphic. You're going to do a Weber High logo. You're going to download the logo to your computer. And then you'll pick pictures, and you're going to upload it through pictures instead. Okay, it's going to be like a Weber Fremont thing, but we're going to use the Weber logo on that. So I'm just going to do online pictures for this one, and I'm going to pick another character. I'm going to do Thor this time. Once you find your picture, you can insert that. It's going to get big again. I'm going to get rid of my credits. Size that guy up. Okay, I want to show you a different one on your picture. I should have given you more time. You guys okay with the picture? Did you get a picture all right? So when you go to the wrap on this one, so it gives you the options. We've been doing the tight, and I think it tells you to do tight today too. But something like this, where you're going to put it in a text box or over something else, I like to use on the very bottom right, it puts your graphic over text. If I mouse over it, it'll say in front of text. I like that one because then it doesn't mess with anything. So if it starts moving words around and stuff, I like to do the in front of text. This would have worked good on your menu in some cases. Remember your menu, you'd move it and it'd move your text around, drive you crazy. This wouldn't do that. So click on that, see how I can move it anywhere in the text and it doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to drag him and put him down inside my text box. Okay, one more thing. Do we do okay with that one? Can we keep going? Okay, one more thing to spice up. We're going to turn this MCU phase 1, we're going to turn that into a table. Okay, we don't have to retype it or anything. We're actually going to select this text, and the Word's going to do all the magic for us. So come up here and select that whole paragraph from MCU down to 2012. And then your tables are under, see, I always get mixed up, under Insert. And then hit your table down. And the 10 by 10 grid isn't working. That's because we got all that selected. But we're going to go all the way down to Convert Text to Table. So it's going to take the text, throw it into a table for us. Okay, so Insert Table, Convert Text to Table. Go ahead and click on that. Now this is the cool part. The first top, you got to kind of figure out, did it figure the columns right? It's going to give us 2 columns and 7 rows. So we've probably got 2 columns. We've got MCU is going to be 1, then phase 1 with the dates under it is going to be the second column. We've got 7 rows there, which is perfect. Fixed column width, we want that. This is where it gets interesting. Now this separate paragraph or separate text at, by default, well, it kind of read it. It gave us the other, and then it has a dash on there. So it knows that wherever the dash is, that's where it's going to divide it. That's where it's going to put a line. That could have also been a comma. So it could have said MCU, comma, phase 1, Iron Man, comma, 2008. And then I would select commas, and it would figure that out too. So it could be spaces. If I put other and then I put a space in there, it could do the same thing. It'll tell you on today's assignment what to do. But it figured it out pretty good. So I'm just going to hit the OK button, and then it's going to pop that right into a table. Cool, right? So let's make that pretty. That'll be our last thing. So with that selected, you'll see you got your table tools and design. Under the design tab, we're going to play with those styles. Just open up those styles and just pick a style that you think will fit that. Okay. And then you could also play with, remember the table style options like the header row, total row, banded. You could play with those too. I think today you have to do a banded rows. I can't remember what it is. Banded means it's like every other color like this. And then you got to size it to your text. It'll say fit to text size or something like that. Let me show you a trick to do that. I don't think there is a fit up here. Oh, there's an auto fit. Yeah, that one's kind of cool. I'll show you 2 ways. So if you put your mouse, go like to the end of phase 1, go to the right. You know how you're going to size your column and you drag it? Get your column right to that edge like that and just do a double click on it. And that'll actually size your columns to fit your text there. I'm going to do it on both columns. So I'm going to go over next to MCU and double click, and that'll pull that out so my Incredible Hulk is on one line. Okay. Did you get that? You could also do that under your layout. There's also an auto fit, and with your table selected, you could do auto fit and then auto fit contents. I'd do auto fit contents, and that would size that up too for you. Okay. Let's center up the table. Do you remember how to center the table itself? Yeah, it's just push the center. So highlight your table, hit your crosshairs, highlight the table, go to your home tab, and then just click on center. Under your paragraph, click on center. That centers it up. Sweet, right? Look how cool that looks already. So it's going to have you do this similar thing today, only you're going to do it, I mean, it's different, but it's similar to what we've done. The other thing it's going to have you do is going to have you put a line underneath your Marvel Cinematic Universe. How do I insert a line? It's a shape, right? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it's a shape. So insert, shape, and then draw your line. Okay. Perfect. You guys got this. So save this one. Save it as a PDF, upload it. And then your intro today, or make sure you start with the, come down here and do this. It's going to say open the high school newsletter text file in Word. You're going to actually just copy and paste that over. So that's the very first thing you're going to do, is you're going to copy this assignment start file. This is what you're going to copy over to Word. So do that very, very first, because you're going to do the Weber High News, Weber High School newsletter, all that kind of stuff. You want all of that with you. That's going to be your title and stuff. Okay? And then just follow the instructions on there. There is, just like usual, there's a example. So this is what you're going to create. It's going to look like this, similar to this, not exactly. Now, I've had some students get tempted to just open this and try to duplicate this. Avoid that temptation, I'm telling you, it'll come back to haunt you. So just follow through the instructions and use this as a reference, because it's in a good order for you, and I mean, you can tackle it that way, but inevitably you'll go back or you'll miss something, or it messes with your format, especially the first few. You want to do these in order. Like set your margins. You want to do your margins before you do your columns, and change your font size and all that kind of stuff. And then the Warrior logo you need is also up here too. So you got the start file, and then you've got the image. This is the logo that you're going to download. Okay?